What up, my freaks? Rune Insight here with part 3 of my Total Warhammer II modded Thorek campaign. So as we saw last time, we were able to take Guacamole Crater and the pretty much all of the Southern Great Jungle, and we sieged it, took it from the lizards, and then were sieged in turn by a force of Skaven with some fairly elite units, who were seeking to take back the artifact that we took from them, or that we retook, or whatever. I don't really care, because those Skaven are all dead. They failed to siege us, even though we had a bunch of breaches in the walls, and we were in a fairly precarious position, but the AI, being a derp, was quickly destroyed. Now, there are more Skaven to consider, though. Here at Sabaton, at the end of the episode, Clan Pestilens decided to go into a raiding stance, wherein we will most likely have to deal with them. We are going to hold on to the points that we have with Thorek, because he is going to get his Anvil of Doom at rank 9, and then I guess we can just go into the end turn off of that. Actually, wait, one thing that I believe somebody mentioned in the comments for the last episode was that there was something different about the grudge meter over here. And to check that, and oh, I can see that. Okay, on turn start, high chance that Slayers will be added to the Regiments of Renown pool. Okay, that's kind of an interesting mechanic. So the more grudges you have, the higher the chance that you get free Slayers added to your Regiment of Renown pool. Now, a pretty cool concept. However, I don't see wanting to get a billion grudges just to get a bunch of free Slayers. But I suppose if it happens, then then it happens. Current severity of unanswered grudges 36, and I take it that's just from the just from these grudges. Yeah, this is all just the stuff that we actually have to forge. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Alright, well, I believe that's it for this turn, so let's end it. Let's see if these guys immediately attack Sabaton. Oh, there was actually a rebellion here. Oh, it doesn't look like they attacked. Will the rebellion attack? Yeah, they'll attack. Or will they siege? Wait, what? What happened here? Did they attack this little tiny Skaven army here? What the hell? Why would you do that? Alright, obtain access to following a resource through ownership or trade at gemstones plus 20 oath gold. Ooh, who has gemstones? Crush the uprising in the following settlement, Sabaton. Ha! A Skaven actually helped us and gave us the free 30 oath gold. Oh, that's amazing. Now, do we forge even more runes off of that? Is there something really useful? I mean, we could get, let's see, these are banner runes. We have the Master Rune of Stromny Redbeard. I'm kind of tempted to get the Master Rune of Grugny as well, just for that missile resistance, which could be sweet. Although, that said, we could also grab another rune for Mr. Thorek himself. Master Rune of Flight, give him a magical missile attack. I've never been too big on magic missiles, though. What other thing would be good here? I'm kind of leaning towards either the Master Rune of Gromril or the Master Rune of Snorri Spanglehelm. I mean, 25 melee attack is pretty intense. What's his basic attack? It's actually 45. It's actually quite low, and he hasn't really been having too much of a tough time surviving, which means I feel, especially once we get on the Anvil of Doom, we'll probably benefit more from the extra attack than we will from the extra armor and physical resistance. So let's do that. Let's power him up a little bit more. And a bunch of you guys have commented that there are some awesome items here to forge, but obviously we need a bunch of actual resources to forge them. Plus the expense is pretty crazy, so I feel like early game we're better off forging all the runes and then going into the expensive damn items later on. So, not enchanted items, but character runes. Let's get ourselves... Is that Frenzy? Huh. And this is, this is for characters. Oh, never mind. I thought it was for individual units in the army. Let's get that Master Rune of Snorri. And then we will also get the Banner Rune of, Master Rune of Grugny. There we go. Alright, looking pretty good. I'm gonna be powering up our forces quite significantly like that. Alright, let us immediately give Mr. Thorek his Master Rune of Snorri, and then... I mean, I feel like we should probably keep the Assistant of the Forge. Maybe we can remove one of these Runes of Battle. Stoicism versus Battle. I mean, if we want to have one anti-large unit, we might as well. Fine, we will put the Master Rune of Grugny in here. Like so. Alrighty, looking pretty good to me. We won't be able to use it this turn, but we will next time. We can attack you. Although the problem there is that I feel you're close enough to move away, so maybe we're better off going, like, right, let's say... You know what, let's go into ambush. I just want to get close enough so we can hit them in a single turn afterwards. And then you, can you take the mortuary of Sulakwa? Please. Alright, perfect. Colonized, a little bit expensive, but that's okay. Province secure. Now you... Alright, what is going on out here? Somebody's under siege, eh? Okay, now you, I forgot. Did we just get you to... Yeah, we just got you. We're going to get out now. There we go. Now we're positive in terms of money making, and we have this entire province. We are going to pop it into public order, I think, at least early on. We got to keep an eye on our public order, because it's not so great here. It's not so great. Oh, wow, it's really not so great here. Especially as they will attack the Mine of the Bearded Skulls. Might have to... You're already in the public order, damn. And so are you. I didn't realize Dwarfs had this much public order issue this early on. But I guess every faction sort of does. Well, once we level you up, we can get you a public order building. I'm actually surprised that an extra gold mine doesn't give public order. I feel like Dwarfs would get public order from having a gold mine. Alright, let's ambush. I really want to just tempt these guys into attacking us, to be honest. But if they can't, I'd rather destroy the army instead of having it run away. So let's just do that one more time. Let's skip this and... Oh, hello. Oh... Lord Skrolk, you sneak. You absolute sneak. He's gonna try to attack both of them at the same time. Oh, with our gold mine here? And there's no defending this, is there? Oh, man. Oh, that's not as good, is it? Damn. That's really not good, especially as he probably has a bunch of plague claws and stuff in here. Now, this will not hold. We could try to build a temporary lord here and then hope that Skrolk decides not to fight here. A rune lord at level 1 is probably not worth it. Skrolk, I'll have a very difficult time killing one of these lords, but I don't really like the... You know what? Maybe we'll get you. Physical resistance plus 10. You're a strong fighter. Maybe you'll be able to defeat a lord. This is going to cost so much extra gold. Alright, you're going to go into Thrice Cursed Peak, and we are going to build local recruitment 1. Well, if it's 1, we're going to get a Quarreler unit. Because there's probably not a lot of Quarrelers in here. Actually, there's 4. It's actually not bad. Oh, wait, no, we're in Thrice Cursed Peak, not Mine of the Bearded Skulls. There's 2 here. Yeah, definitely Quarreler. They won't win, but they might at least do a little bit of damage. And if we attack... Oh, man. Would you... Lokir, shut up. I was kind of hoping to try to draw Lokir into a war with Skrolk, but I doubt that that'll happen. Because he hates us already. Yeah, no, it's not going to work. It is not going to work. Alright, let's end the turn. Skrolk's going to attack us. We'll probably lose Thrice Cursed Peak, but then we will... Oh, he did... Really? You're going to move away? You bastards. That did not work out the way I wanted it to work out. Alright, War Fervor versus Recruitment Cost. I'm going to go with War Fervor. Not that we really need the leadership. Lost Valley is going to rebel. That's what, this place? Fine. Just untax yourself. Untax yourself. Now, can you jump here? No, you can't. No, you cannot. You know what? Well, now we can't march forward. What we can do is just go right. We can't reach this guy in a single go. How far could we jump? Honestly, we can't even jump that far. Damn. Alright, just go as far as you can, buddy. This army's still here. I did not expect this little dance with the rats, but I probably should have, just from prior experience with Skaven in general. Alright, let's see where Skrolk goes after this. And, alright, Shuttle, you. Do we go for a public order building now? Because the public order is going to be a problem. Wait, can we even get a public order building? Growth, no. Public order building is at rank 2, so we have no choice, eh? Alright, Guacamole Crater, you are then going to just go for a barley field, just for that extra growth. I'd love to get the trinket makers everywhere, and we will get them everywhere, but we need the growth early on. You... Still, damn. We need a bunch of lords just sort of sitting there. Okay, you are going to have to untax. That's going to hurt. Oh, that is going to hurt a lot. We really need to get Skrolk out of here. Right, like, immediately. Okay, well, here we go. Let's end the turn. Let's see if he attacks Thrice Cursed Peak. No, he's going to move away. Perfect. Okay, then we can retax that. Ooh, is he in March stance? Hello. Can we hit him here? That's the question. Sentinels of Shatik have been destroyed. What? What? Ooh. I'm tempted to get the growth, but the public order would cause a bunch of rebellions. Now, we can't afford it right now. Alrighty, you are going to tax again. We are going to have to... Alright, wait, how do we do this? First of all, you... Stop that recruit. Delete this hero. Then you're going to go into... Valea's Will stance.
Time for a reckoning.
Right here. There we go. Now our public order is at -3. It's still not going to get there. Damn. We're going to have to destroy this and then jump back here, hopefully before they rebel. I mean, we do have walls here. So it's not a huge deal, but you know what? I guess we can slowly march our lord over here. Might as well. Go. And then we'll wait on you, and then we'll wait on you. No money to spend either. Alright, you. Time to hit Skrolk. Are you at war with anybody who we care about? Cult of Sotek, eh? Alright, Cult of Sotek. We will join war against Clan Pestilens if you give us... Oh, you have, like, no money, do you? What about a non-aggression? Do we want a non-aggress with you? What if you take a territory that we want later? Nah, we'll just do it for money. Demand payment 500. Really? Alright, fine. Demand payment 300. What the... Damn you, mouse. Stop double-clicking. Did you really just do that like 5 times in a row, mouse? Come on. Join war against Clan Please stop. Clan Pestilens. I'm gonna have to just start clicking really hard. There we go. Okay, now we're at war with Clan Pestilens. Let's hit Lord Skrolk. That was not the brightest move there, Skrolk. Going into freaking March stance. Close victory, eh? Okay, well, first of all, we are going to go for a Rune of Burning right here. We're going to have to move our runes around. You Ironbreakers have that Master Rune of Stromny Redbeard, which I like. I guess we want to put the Rune of Stoicism on... Now, this Master Rune of Grugny, it should be with somebody who's in the center. Because they'll be buffing everybody up. Honestly, it doesn't really matter that much against this particular army here, but I just want to make sure that it's that everything's good. Let's just do that, and then I guess on another unit of warriors. Oh, but how will we keep track of which warrior has it? That's one of the annoying things. You know what? I'm gonna put it on the freaking Longbeards instead. Then we'll set them up in the center anyway. Alright, let's do that. Alright, I guess since this is Lord Skrolk and he has a bunch of Plague Monks, we are going to make this a cinematic battle. Let's hope that it's a good one. Let's get to it. Alrighty, finally a battle against the Vermintide. This should be pretty interesting. It is Lord Skrolk's army, so it does have a ton of these elite Plague Monk units. Well, quote-unquote elite, but elite enough for our purposes. Because, you know, a basic Plague Monk unit is going to be considerably better than a basic Dwarf Warrior unit, as it is a damage dealer and kind of excels at dealing with slow units like the low-tier infantry that we have. So that'll be pretty interesting. They've got Plague Monk Sensor Bearers, as well as a couple of Anointed Plague Monks. Trying to find those here. I'm actually really curious to see what these guys are supposed to be. Are they a Halberd Infantry? What are you? You are a Scepter... Okay. Scepter Infantry. What the hell do you do? 55 melee attack and 29 melee defense. Unbreakable. Oh, they have a defender stat. Armor piercing melee. Oh, now you guys are kind of frightening. You're kind of frightening. You guys can probably hear my cat right now. Unfortunately, that's going to be happening this episode. I just want to compare their stats to the Plague Monk Sensor Bearers, who are at 55, 29. They also have the armor piercing melee, and of course they have the Plague Sensor, which we are familiar with. But they have magical attacks. Wait, Plague Monks are fully magical? Are the Anointed? They're also magical. That's actually pretty interesting, because Dwarfs have a base stat of like 30, 25, 30? Not Thorek. Let's see. Let's take a regular unit. Dwarf Warriors. You guys have 25%. Oh, It had to be 25% because I said 30. Magic resistance. And there we go. It looks like we're going to exchange some fire with our artillery. There we go. I had to move my cat or he wouldn't have stopped meowing in this entire episode. And I probably, that wouldn't have been that fun. And it looks like we're not actually exchanging fire in the sense that they are not firing at our artillery. They are going to fire at our Ironbreakers. Well, good luck with that. They're not going to take a lot of damage from this. I believe in SFO, the Plague Claws are reasonably weak, i.e. they're weaker than they were in Vanilla individually because there are now 8 instead of 4. I believe that was the change. I remember last time I played Skaven that I wasn't super impressed with them except against certain units. They now apply that leadership debuff or something like that, don't they? Contaminated, melee attack, and leadership. Yeah, but their individual attacks are fairly low at 205 per hit as compared to the 377 of the Grudge throwers. Actually still pretty good, although depending on their accuracy, of course. Now, here we go. The main battle lines are about to collide. I just want to take a quick look at the battle setup as I did a little bit more Empire than I would normally do for the Dwarfs, although they both do share some similarities. I mean, we're not yet ready for, like, checkered pattern battle formations, but here we go. A unit of Thunderers is going to be able to fire through this gap. We do have a unit of Ironbreakers, or our only unit of Ironbreakers, all the way out front, because we want them to, as many enemies to funnel towards the Ironbreakers as possible, as well as Thorek himself, of course, who is going to try to duel Lord Skrolk as soon as he gets in range. Then, successively moving deeper into our formation, we have units of Dwarf Warriors who are sort of protecting our flanks. Over on the actual flanks, we have a unit of Dwarf Warriors with great weapons getting ready to attack, although I'm not sure whether that's going to succeed because the enemy seems to have the same sort of idea. And then on this side, similar sort of thing, 2 units of Dwarf Warriors protected by the Rune Smith, who should be able to hold the line with these 2 units, as well as the Miners and the Dwarf Warriors with great weapons, similarly in the jungle, trying to maintain their formation. Otherwise, it's just going to be our explosive Grudge throwers dealing as much damage as they possibly can, and let's watch for the battle lines to collide. There we go. I'm really glad that we got a unit of Thunderers out of the Confederation. It's nice to have this unit early on without actually having to build it. They are going to focus this Anointed Plague Monks unit, and I did try to focus the Anointed Plague ones, with various range units as well as with the Grudge throwers. Now over here we have satchel charges coming in from the Ironbreakers, dropping in among these various clan rats, while Thorek, sighting his foe, is going to duel Lord Skrolk and take this menace out of the world personally. But he is going to get immediately attacked by a bunch of Plague Monk Sensor Bearers who do armor-piercing magical damage and should be able to actually dish out a decent amount to Thorek himself. So he's in a little bit of danger here. Of course, his initial contact with Skrolk made him do quite a bit more damage than Skrolk did to him, so he should be in favor here. Now let's just compare their stats for a second. 65-50 on Thorek with that extra... does he have that rune right away, or is that next turn? I don't remember. And then Skrolk is 65-40. Oh, they're almost even, but we have a lot more armor. Skrolk only has 30 armor, whereas Thorek has 100 and freaking 60. So, oh, poor Skrolk. Yeah, he's going to have a bad time there. And here we go. The rats are starting to approach the hill, but of course the dwarves are amazing at holding the line, and a lot of them are actually running as they approach us. More satchel charges being thrown as well. Thorek getting a rune of spiting, Wrath and Ruin, or I don't remember. I think it's Wrath and Ruin. Because I've been, because of the fact that I've been crafting so many runes, yeah, it is Wrath and Ruin. I'm starting to forget which runes are called what. Now, let's take a look at what's happened on the various portions of the battlefield. Over here, this, our runesmith, Mr. Godfrey, is holding the line against a fairly large blob of enemy units. The Anointed Plague Monks, as well as a couple Clan Rat unit and a regular Clan Rat unit, or a regular Plague Monk unit, rather, are both attacking a pair of Dwarf Warriors. Of course, without the runesmith here, they would have fallen quite quickly, but with him, they should be able to hold the line fairly decently. Over here, we have several individual battles going on. This Plague Monk unit has connected with the Dwarf Warriors, and as I said before, it is a one-on-one, in a one-on-one matchup, the Plague Monks are going to defeat the Dwarf Warriors fairly easily. I mean, they are winning, but they're not, like, massively winning. Yeah, the unit losing slightly. But they will win eventually. Over here, I did want to get these Dwarf Warriors to actually flank, but both of these units of Clan Rat Spears got tied up with them, but that's fine. A unit of Dwarf Warriors with Great Weapons should actually be able to take care of both of those units, or at least do a lot of damage to them. Now, over here, we have Lord Skrolk and Thorek dueling, but now the Ironbreakers have taken to the field and are going to surround Lord Skrolk and prevent him from running away. We can see he has dropped to half HP and is very, very quickly going to drop here. Another hit from Thorek is going to make him regret his actions. There we go, Lord Skrolk. Are you actually... Whoa, whoa, whoa. Is this... What am I seeing here? Oh... He just got exploded by the Ironbreaker's satchel charges. I don't know whether that was coincidence and whether Thorek got an actual hit there at the last second, or whether he just literally got ripped apart by the explosive satchel charges, but that looked hilarious. Oh, that was amazing. Anyway, obviously, with the death of Skrolk, whether it was indeed Thorek personally, I mean, Thorek did the majority of the damage either way, even if the satchel charges took care of him as he was trying to run away. Now, over here, we did get a Rune of Wrath and Rune. We can see the after effect of it with the enemies that got exploded and all killed around it, and then we also finally were able to position our Thunderers to shoot these guys in the back a few times, completely decimating this force and allowing the portion of the battlefield that was led by Mr. Gautry to succeed. Here is probably the last remaining portion of the battlefield that is somewhat concerning. We have a full unit of Censer Bearers as well as a full unit of Anointed Plague Monks attacking some pretty weak units. The Miners are weakest on the field, as well as the Dwarf Warriors with Great Weapons, who are obviously not as defensive as the regular Dwarf Warriors. That is a lot of Plague Monks. We are, of course, firing into them with our Grudge Throwers, and you can see some Quarrels getting dropped, so the enemy will get depleted, but of course all that extra friendly fire is going to quickly deplete the numbers of these forces as well. And there we go. I'm just taking in the sights here. This battle is pretty much over. I mean, the rest of the army has collapsed. It is just this flank that is holding on. I guess this flank was a little bit weak. I was expecting that Mr. Gautry would get here and help out, but it took a little bit longer to deal with the giant amount of rats that came in and attacked his flank. I was expecting more enemies to attack the Ironbreakers and get held there by Thorek himself and the Ironbreakers, but it didn't work out, but that's okay. At the end of the day, this is still going pretty poorly for the rats. We can see that our Dwarf Warriors with Great Weapons are starting to rout now, but that's okay because these guys have dropped to about half HP apiece. Actually, lower than half HP. And they should be dead. Here we go. Finally, the Thunderers have lined up. I was taking this entire time that I've been talking, moving them from here, where they were firing on these guys, just this short distance. And finally they reach here and can start shooting these guys. Let's see a volley from you, Thunderers. There you go. There we go. Looks like they're more firing at will than getting a nice, even volley out. In fact, I feel like they should be firing over here instead of over there at individual units. Like, there's a much blobbier section here. They're not doing that great of a job. There we go. Fire on these guys. Yeah, you guys are doing it. I think what I should have done is I guess I should have moved them a little bit more this way, but it took them so long to get here, I didn't want to waste more time waiting for them to line up. Also, the Quarrelers were also having kind of an issue here firing on these guys. Instead of firing into the main mass of the enemy, they were firing primarily at, like, slight amounts of units, like, on the edges here and hurting our own units. I really wish that the aiming AI would work better. Like, you'd think that an individual unit would know or be ordered to target the main mass of an enemy, as opposed to, like, the edge. And I know that some artillery and then some spells also do that exact thing, where they seem to target the edge. Ooh, look at that! That rat just lost its head there. Yeah, target the edge of formations. as opposed to center mass. I just find it a little bit bizarre. Hopefully they do that better in the third game. Anyway, I know it's been taking a while, but this battle is just about over. We're going to get the miners and the dwarf warriors out of the way just so we can get a clearer shot for our thunderers. Obviously, all the plague monks are unbreakable, and they will fight to the last. But, you know, there's not going to be... That's not going to be long because there are 14 and 12 left. The rest of the army has collapsed. We're just waiting here. We've been waiting for this flank to be done this entire time. The actual main portion of the battle, I feel, ended really, really quickly. As soon as Lord Skrolk died, everybody ran. And I'm just laughing at that sight of him getting exploded by those satchel charges again. Oh, man. But, I mean, that makes sense. Imagine, like, 100 satchel charges, or 80 satchel charges. Is that how many Ironbreakers there are? 80? Yeah, 80. Imagine 80 satchel charges hitting you at once and just exploding. Makes sense that he'd just, you know, be ripped apart by the explosion. And there we go. Last couple units of Plague Monks here. It was a brave stand, though. You gotta love the Plague Monks, so they're a fun unit to play around with. I think when I got Vanilla the first time, like when I originally got Vanilla, I think Lord Skrolk might have been the very first Lord that I played. I'm not 100% sure whether that was the case, but... He was definitely the first Skaven Lord I played. I don't know. I don't remember who I played before, but it was very, very early because I was really interested in using those Plague Monks and Plague Claw catapults and all that stuff. Anyway, a close victory, and we did indeed take some damage, especially on the flanks, where we didn't have such a great time holding the line against some of those extra units, and we saw that one-on-one over here, where that one unit of Dwarf Warriors took a bunch of damage. Obviously, the Miners and the Great Weapons obviously took damage as well, but at the end of the day, this is Lord Skrolk's elite starting army. We were at an 18 stack, not even a full stack ourselves, and this faction's back is going to be broken after this. Let's see how much damage we did. Alrighty. Perhaps a little bit surprisingly, a pretty darn fun fight. What the hell just happened there? Oh, those are the runes. I was just like, wait a second. He shouldn't have two of those items, and otherwise, yeah, everything's fine. Hey, we got a brass cleaver. It's actually a pretty nice pickup. +8 melee attack on everybody. Definitely want to keep that, especially as with the dwarves. I think one of the things that we definitely have to pay attention, well, generally speaking, when playing with the dwarves, is the fact that you can't really reposition your army very well because they are so damn slow. So you sort of dig in, and then you don't have much time to maneuver because it just took so long. I was just like watching those Thunderers try to reposition it. They were taking absolute ages to do so. Although they did output a fairly decent amount of damage, equivalent with the Quarrelers who were firing basically the entire time, whereas these guys were moving around. The Runesmith there held the line fairly well. I was fairly also impressed with some of those Skaven units. 20,000 damage on these Plague Monk Sensor Bearers, and 104 kills. Those are dwarf kills. That is pretty impressive. I don't remember which unit this particular unit was. It might have been the one that destroyed the... It might have been the one that destroyed one of the units of Dwarven Warriors on the side by itself. There was a little duel going on, but also there was these Miners that also got quite wrecked. But they're Miners. That's not as impressive, nearly as much. I'm actually surprised that the Anointed Plague Monks got less kills than the Censor Bearers. I don't know if they're a better unit or not. I haven't compared the stats, but it just sounds like Anointed should be better, but I don't know. I think the Plague Monks, the Censor Bearers are more, they have more survivability than the regular Plague Monks, who are more berserkery type units and are damage dealers and are meant to flank. I take it the Anointed Plague Monks are sort of similar. Damn, and I checked the stats too, and now I no longer recall. But anyway, it was a fun battle. We will... Ooh, Oath Gold and 2,000 gold. You know what? These guys did cost us a bunch of gold. So I feel like we're going to... Drink to Victory as well, but no, we are going to... Wait, we're in an enemy province right now. This does nothing for us. Even, I mean, I guess if we move back into a friendly province afterwards, but no, we're going to execute and loot for the money. And there's no way to get our HP back, unfortunately. Now the question is, can we move back into our own territory? Yes, we got a brass cleaver, and we can indeed move back to our own place. And I think we have to. If these guys attack us, their army is weak. Even if we are in march stance, I don't think it'll matter that much. I want to go back into our own territory just so we can heal up a little bit. And then hopefully we can siege them afterwards. There we go. It'll be worth the heal. Wow, we didn't level up at all from that battle? Huh. I felt like Thorek should have definitely gotten himself a level there, especially after he managed to kill Skrolk personally. But hey, what do I know? Now, we do have Ancestral Grudge. We are fighting the Skaven right now. Is it worth it? Is it worth it right now? It's a good question. You know what? Let's get Rune of Hearth and Home so we can have it on several sides, plus 100% charge resistance everywhere. Therefore, these guys can be, you know, separate. You are good, and I believe with that we can end the turn yet again. There's nothing to build, unfortunately. And we are losing public order everywhere. Really, really quite concerning. But that's okay. Now that we're at war with Lord Skrolk and that we've destroyed his main army as well as the elite units he started with, he shouldn't be nearly as threatening. And I think this is his only territory. Yeah, it is. So if we take this next turn, then we destroy the faction for good. Stop double-clicking, mouse. Let's see. Miners, we get the miners with blasting charges at level 10, which we aren't quite near yet, so let's just keep going. Let's see what this army does. I'm really curious to see whether they'll attack us. Nope. Ooh, oh, they just screwed themselves. They just screwed themselves into a field battle, which means they're dead. Noble Aid, recruit a Lord Oath Gold plus 20. We can do that. I'll take the free Oath Gold. Lord is ready. Oh, well, look, somebody we can recruit. Go figure. So you're going to go here, and you're going to stay here. Just to keep extra growth in this place. And, ooh, hello, we get an upgrade right there. 27... it's pretty expensive. What's the cost reduction if we use the Masters of Steel and Stone? It's only 5%. It's probably not worth it. Let's just do that. And then, ooh, we get another upgrade here as well. I guess we're going to go for another barley field for more growth because we are super reliant on that growth. And mortuary, or it doesn't really matter. Let's do... There we go. We're starting to run out of gold real quick, so got to keep an eye on that. You are going to disappear, aren't you?
Tried and tested.
Because what's going to happen is you'll get attacked. I guess we could put the Lord in here. Okay, you know what? It doesn't matter. That'll be something that we have to do next turn anyway. This turn, we have other things to do. Namely, attack Mr. Science Surge over here. And then... Oh, we can't reach him? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Just barely. Can we reach Oixel? Yeah, we can. We can reach the actual city, and that is a lot of rats in there, but we do have the artillery advantage, and once we break through, we can just sort of bottleneck them into the iron breakers, and they have absolutely no chance at dealing with them. We are going to fight this in a second, but of course I will have to make a cut because the previous battle was a cinematic one. This one probably doesn't need to be. Generally, sieges I don't bother. We'll see. If it's a good battle, I'll make it cinematic. If it's not, I will just... I'll just play it the regular way. But here comes the cut first, obviously. Alright, there's the cut, and I'm still over here laughing at Lord Skrolk. He just exploded. Anyway, let's get to us a decent-sized siege for us to take. Let's find out if it's a fun battle. You know, I was debating with myself whether to bother making this a cinematic battle, because we know that this is going to be an easy battle. We have artillery superiority, we have the runes, and we have the armor to really deal with anything that the Skaven can dish out. On top of that, once again, the Skaven get screwed by getting this map. It does seem to be the default Skaven map, because I feel like it's every single Skaven city that is the standard Skaven city is getting this map, and it is absolutely horrible for it. Oh man. I guess this is a reason to use more map mods, but unfortunately those have destroyed compatibility for a campaign before, and I never used them again. Not worth it. Those were some screwed up textures. Alright, so let's just take a look at this. Once again, cinematic battle may not have been completely necessary, but you know what I haven't seen enough of? Exploding rats. So we might as well explode a few more of them. Thorek and Gautry are coming up, slowly, very, very slowly running up to be able to use their runes, cast them right in the middle of this blob. We will also pelt the enemy with a bunch of our artillery. And it does feel a little bit, you know, unfair, I suppose, to be attacking like this. But, you know, like, if the enemy is stuck in a city, we would obviously be bombarding them. The Dwarfs especially would obviously be bombarding them with artillery and range fire if they had range superiority, which they very much do here. So I don't really see a huge problem with capitalizing on this. Otherwise, what would sieges be? Just straight up charging the walls? And here we go. Now this is going to take a while. It'll get a little bit faster once the artillery start. Ooh, nice shot there. Exploding a bunch of those Night Runners and taking out a piece of that wall. I really wish that the walls were a little bit more indestructible, i.e. it wasn't just like complete wall or destroyed wall. I wish that there was like various stages to the destruction of the walls, where like it would be partially destroyed, etc., etc. That really adds something to the immersion of sieges. Anyway, the grudge throwers, the explosive grudge throwers, are gonna go to town on this giant pile of rats here. Fortunately, they do seem to be able to shoot over these walls. They may not be mortars, but it looks like they do have the range that they need to be actually able to take care of this. Oh, those poor rats. This is horrifying. This is all like World War I no man's land for them. Oh man. And they are firing back a little bit. They're getting the occasional blast out of their warp lightning. That's something. It's something, but they're suffering absolutely horrendous losses to our grudge throwers. And this is a little bit fun and satisfying to watch. The Skaven, I think, of all the factions, have annoyed me the most in nearly every campaign. They are such a freaking nuisance, and it's a little bit satisfying to just obliterate them. There we go. We are now targeting the top of the walls a little bit. We want to get rid of these Night Runners, and I did take I thought that this would work a little bit better than it does. At the end of the day, I end up retargeting the Quarrelers to take care of these Night Runners, because they take too long to die, and I felt like it would be a better use of our Grudge Throwers to continue destroying those units down there. Now, over here, we have 2 units of Clan Rats. I take it these are the summoned Clan Rats, although I don't see the de-summoning thing. Anyway, I did send Thorek and Gautry. Oh yeah, there it is. I did send Thorek and Gautry to deal with them. They do have Splash, and Thorek has that Rune of Spite now, Master Rune of Spite. Gonna get a little bit of help from our long beards with great axes. These poor Clan Rats. Honestly, they're probably having an easier time than the Clan Rats that are in here. This is still happening. How many units have the enemy lost? They've lost about, let's see, 7,000 to 9,000, over 2,000 units. Or actually a little under 2,000 units, but still. Pretty damn good. It'll be 2,000 units in a few seconds. And now, obviously, these summoned Clan Rats are getting the hell out of here. Beautiful. How did this banner get so bloody? What are you doing, Dwarf? No, seriously, how did you manage that? Oh, man, I feel like the banner shouldn't be that bloody. But hey, he's clearly, he loves his work, you know? Now, let's just take a look at what's going on over here. We do have the gatehouse, which is at 31%. I take it took a bunch of damage from when the Grudge Throwers were firing on top of the walls, and here we can see the Gutter Runners being taken care of by our Quarrelers. It's better to take care of them because they do armor-piercing damage. In fact, all of the damage on Gautry over here, who has dropped about 15% HP, all of that was from the armor-piercing shurikens that these guys were chucking at him. Oh, actually, wait, these are Night Runners, not Gutter Runners, so they have regular, not armor-piercing? Well, they still did decent damage to him, despite the fact that he has pretty intense armor. So anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to break this gatehouse as well as this wall with our miners. One of those reasons that to actually take miners is to be able to do this. And ideally, what we would try to do is to break through both of these at the same time and then just, you know, destroy the rats. And you know what? This is going to take quite a while. I'm going to speed through it a little bit. I mean, we've seen plenty of the rats being destroyed. Oh, here comes another warp lightning. Being destroyed by our range fire. We might as well just speed through the part where our various dwarfs attack their walls. I mean, this target has been softened up by artillery barrages quite nicely. I mean, take a look at this. So many units are running off the field. They are down to 4,800 out of 8,700. Very, very nice. And after this bombardment, our grudge throwers are just about out of ammo. In fact, one goes out of ammo right now, and both of these quarrelers probably have one volley left to them. The walls are fortunately just about to go down, 85% HP and 76% HP. Hopefully they catch up a little bit. And now we're looking at 94 and 91. Here we go, the battle proper. Down goes the wall. And it looks like down goes the gate nearly at the same time. I think I timed that reasonably well. Alrighty, and it looks like the Iron Breakers are going to move in. These guys are not going to be able to do anything at all to them. Unfortunately, it looks like most of the enemy force is going to just run straight into the gate here to try to defend against the Iron Breakers. This allows us to make a sort of beachhead on the side over here with our regular Dwarf Warriors as they move in. On top of that, this blob is really ripe for a Rune of Wrath and Ruin as soon as the cooldown is done. And over here we can see the enemy rats are actually going to attack the Dwarf Warriors. There's the Rune of Wrath and Ruin that we've all been waiting for. It's such an obnoxious spell against the rats, and there's another one coming down. I can't wait to get a third Runesmith in this army. I absolutely will. I wonder what the optimum number of Runesmiths in Thorek's army is. Alright, here we go. Giant pile of Dwarf Warriors have taken over the flanks, and they're actually going to help by charging the flanks and the rear of these clan rats, trapping them between Iron Breakers and Longbeards and then Warriors. Oh, these poor Skaven. This is going really poorly for them. Even if their lords are to survive, I think the Council of 13 is not going to be very happy with them. Yep, they're all shouting for retreat. It looks like the Grey Seer of Ruin is still here, but otherwise most of this army appears to be getting the hell out of here. 4,000 units left on the field. We have lost... Actually, can't tell how many we lost because we came in here with a hurt unit, but look at how many enemies are routing. Alright, time to just keep on pushing forward. Now, we do have a unit of Thunderers, which we still have a full amount of ammunition on. They're in here somewhere. I believe I told them to get up on the walls. Here they are. Oh, they got engaged by this one hero. Of course they did. They can't run past the one guy. Yeah, now I did try to get them on the walls, but unfortunately it looks like they're sort of in the way, i.e. they could have fired, but they would have damaged our own troops, I feel, more than they would have damaged the enemy, or rather more than the enemy would have damaged us. Now over here we have a nice little mini battle going on, while these guys are all chasing this blob and trying to take out this lord and this hero. We have the Iron Breakers lining up by themselves to hold the line again against yet another blob of Skaven. And Thorek should be here any moment now. And here they come charging. I like watching the Rattlings charge the freaking Iron Breakers, because the Iron Breakers don't really move. Like, they jump at them and the Iron Breakers just don't care. Ooh, and Satchel charges while fighting. Oh, this is beautiful. And here comes Thorek to help out, along with a Rune of Wrath and Ruin. Oh, the absolute destruction. It really goes to show, like, the war beneath the world, where the like, basically permanent deadlock between the Skaven and the Dwarfs really goes to show, like, how much more powerful the Dwarfs are, but just considering that, imagine the sheer number of Skaven that there are. Well, plus they have all their fancy toys and stuff like that, but it's at the end of the day, it's the numbers that are pretty telling as well. But then tunnel fighting is pretty different. I mean, there's gas and there's all sorts of nasty stuff that both of the factions go down to. Or stoop to, I suppose. Hey, look at Thorek leading the charge. And I do believe the battle is just about over. Once again, the Thunderers are up here, and I'm just kind of ambivalent. I told them not to fire on this, because, I mean, once again, it's probably better that they don't, because they'll do a lot more damage to our own units. But this battle is just about done. The enemy Lord here has been caught by Gautry, who obviously leads the other half of our forces, along with these Dwarf Warriors with great weapons. He's actually doing a reasonably good job. Good job, Gracier. Good job. Ooh, I like the glowing horns. They're gonna try to surround him. I really get annoyed when individual units like this, they just sort of stand back and attack an enemy one at a time. What is this? It's like a movie where, like, the superheroes are dealing with a bunch of idiot minions who will only attack the hero one at a time. Not even superheroes, just really anybody. Exactly what formations seem to do in this game sometimes. And there we go, we might be able to get at least one volley off with the Thunderers down on the routing units, but that's at the end of the battle, because this battle is over. You are indeed doomed, a heroic victory and an absolute slaughter of the Skaven here at the, once again, most unfortunate map that the AI keeps getting saddled with. Oh well, maybe we're just blessed by the gods. Let's see how much damage everybody did to all these poor rats. Alright, well, I'm not going to pretend that that was a difficult battle, but it sure was a fun one. Sometimes it's fun to see absolute slaughter, and slaughter it was. 38 units lost, and considering we're primarily tier 1 and 2 units, that's pretty damn good, with 7.5k lost to the enemy. I mean, seeing the numbers against Skaven is always hilarious, and it's not surprising. Let's see about the damage. 100,000 on Thorek. 100,000. He's not really even a caster lord. I mean, granted, he does have the Rune of Wrath and Ruin. I mean, obviously 944 and then 809 on the Runesmith. That's pretty insane. The poor rats are really not adept at handling that early game. Plus, once again, it was that map. The poor Skaven just keep getting screwed over and over by getting that particular map that is just so disadvantageous for the AI. I just want to see how much damage. 100k and 76k. Who won? It looks like, Thorek lost by a tiny bit. 567 versus 621. Oh, man. Both over 100k, though. Very close. Very close. And how did the Quarrelers actually didn't do as much as I thought they did? As I thought they would. 33k on the Ironbreakers, 13k on the Longbeards, about 10 to 12k on a bunch of these guys. I really couldn't find a proper position for the Thunderers. I kept, by the time they were in position, they were constantly at risk of, like, firing into our own Ironbreakers and stuff, and I ended up just not really using them at the end of the day. But hey, fun bet. And just like that, I do believe... Oh, no, this, they are going to survive. Transiform of Crippled Peak will keep this place alive. Or, oh, wait, actually 2 lords will survive. Cute. Oh, you know what I should have done? I should have chased them off. Because they were reinforcements.
No, you failed.
Oh well, they'll most likely just suicide over here. Regardless, we are obviously out of time after that battle, and the fact that Lord Skrolk exploded, and I have no idea what that has to do with being out of time. I just wanted to mention it at least once more. We also leveled up to 8. We're almost at level 9. After these guys suicide here at Oixel, we should be able to get the Anvil of Doom, so that'll be available for next episode. And we will also have to probably move back and fight the Rebellion at the Mine of the Bearded Skulls, otherwise it might fall. We will have to keep an eye out on our public order, and we will then also have to pick another enemy to fight. Most likely we're just going to hit the Blessed Dread. We want this entire province, plus the Southern Sentinels over here belongs to a faction which we are already at war with, and I assume they won't peace out, so we really need to deal with this. Maybe if we take out... If we take out the Blessed Dread, we can stop here and then grow a little bit tall. I don't want to go so wide so fast that everybody hates us because of great power, and that's already happening. We're already starting to accumulate that, so we do need to pay attention. But once again, that's going to be a problem for next time. So with that said, as always, I do appreciate any and all feedback with regards to the gameplay or the way I do things on this channel. If you have a second, please do take it to leave a like and a comment to support the channel. It really does help. As always, all glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.